What's up, everybody? Anthony Crudele here, along with my co-hosts, Canny, Jimmy, Jude. Jimmy Jude's got the shirt on. We're going to get into that today for sure, as this is not financial advice. And thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you like and subscribe and turn on notifications for the show so you never miss an episode, as we're coming to you live from the Place Your Trades Network. Today, we're going to be talking about what we're seeing in the equities markets, and we have a bond trader on, the winner of our contest last week, Macro Tactical. We're going to see what he thinks about the bond market. And of course, we're going to be going to the event contracts for today and go over what trades we've taken. We're going to show you our positions and show you some of the trades that we like, and maybe we'll put some on before the close here. Today's podcast is brought to you by Tradeovate, which has built a custom app dedicated to trading event contracts. This is what we're all using at Place Your Trades. Use the link in the chat, and if you're watching us on Twitter, which we're now streaming on Twitter every week, the link is also there on Twitter to start using the Tradeovate web app for free, where you can follow along and make your own picks. So, boys,
3700s, baby.
3700s is, he's so bullish today.
3700s.
Jimmy.
I've been nibbling. I've been nibbling all day.
I like it. It's
Can we address something? Can we address what's happening to me?
We need to go over something. Let's see if we can share.
I'm getting a little bit of a
when you see me in something like this, you know that I've had like a pretty bad 3 days.
Like
this is
I keep fading out of the picture. I'm even smaller this week than I was last week. Macro Tactical skull head is 4x my size.
You're like in his
dude.
Like before you know it, I'm gonna be like, next week it's like you're gonna get half Canny, and then the other, and then it's like I'm gonna become like Where's Waldo pretty soon. Like by Thanksgiving, you guys, it's gonna be a contest to see who can find Canny on the promo. Like they don't give a shit about me.
This is what Jimmy told me to do. Jimmy told me to make your head the size of like Beetlejuice.
Look at the size of Jimmy's melon. Well, you're doing it.
This is what I've been told.
So how much do I have to pay you to pump my head up a little bit?
No. See how sensitive he is, Jimmy?
Maybe get a little bit
Tommy
here.
Put Tommy in the middle next week. Let's see him.
Everybody wants to see you, bro. Everybody wants to see you. You're too sexy. We got to have you in front. I get it.
That's the next thing we have to address before we get to the markets. I mean, he came on the show today, and I go, honestly, dude, what are you doing with that shirt? Are you going to Hawaii? Like you taking the next plane to Honolulu here, or what are you doing?
It's like in the.
That's what I thought you were talking. That's what I thought you were saying in the beginning. Like, no, this is my. Like when professional baseball teams have like a stopper. You know what I mean? When they're on a losing streak and they have that dude they go to. This shirt is my go-to guy. You know what I mean? Like when I'm absolutely horrible and spiraling, I put this shirt on and this thing stops it. And today I need to stop it. So, this is this shirt is easily 30 years old, by the way. Like
this is gross. Just to be honest, that's gross.
Right. I mean, it's yellowing in places and everything, but I really don't care because, I could probably sell this on eBay for a couple $100,000. Just the value. Like, this thing will stop your losing streaks. Get in their tracks.
That's impressive. I wore the same black gym shoes every day for almost 2 years, and then I actually tried to buy them again. And I was reaching out to Nike going, listen, you don't understand. I need these shoes. Put a price on it. Find somebody to make them for me. Yeah. They were black Air Maxes. They were all black. And, the back and the black, kind of similar to a Mirror Black show. Yeah. I wore those one day, and I came back strong. I was in just a downturn and all the way back. And I'm like, I'm never taking these shoes off.
You know what it is like, it doesn't mean anything, but it's important to you. And this shirt is important to me. Like I have extra confidence when I put it on because I know this stops bad streaks. You know what I mean? And I only bring it out maybe once or twice a year when I'm really
this is deep trading psychology here, like book-worthy type shit.
But it works. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? When you need something, even your old comfy shirt can sometimes help you. And get you out of that shit.
Yeah, and everyone's asking us. I'm already seeing some questions. We are on Twitter now, so maybe Jimmy and Canny and I will retweet it so you guys can watch it through our streams. But of course, you
I'll
can
do it right now.
follow at Place Your Trades on Twitter. We are going to be streaming all the shows, as you saw Julia and Jay last night, Merritt this morning. Everything is on Place Your Trades, so be sure to go there and follow us there on the Twitter channel so you can catch all the live streams, which is pretty cool. I like that we're now trading on or streaming on Twitter. Now, let's talk a little bit of the bond market. Let's bring in our guy, Macro Tactical.
What's up?
What's up, buddy?
LA
Thanks
boy.
for having me.
Hey, dude.
Oh, I can't go
It's
that
been a
way. Hey,
while.
Jimmy, real quick. Jimmy, look.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
There
Jimmy,
it is.
Look at the new shot we got.
I gotta like lean in just to get a little bit.
I mean, what were you eating before you came here anyway?
What's
Pistachios, man. I got my huge bag of pistachios. Is it that bad?
I mean, really, dude. I got
Wow.
mouthwash in there.
God. I brushed my teeth too.
So, Macro,
Yes, sir.
my guy, you've been on the podcast. Thanks for signing up last week. We're going to talk about event contracts here. For those that don't know you, tell us. Well, we all want to know where you live because we want to live by you and that young life you got going on, and what markets you're trading.
So yeah, I'm out in LA. Sunny LA, though the gas prices are a little high at the moment. But yeah, so what am I seeing in the bond market? Well, every day you come in and you think this stuff's not going to stop selling off, and then you turn away for 20 minutes and you look over and the thing's down a handle, and then it's down 2. Next thing you know, it's down 3. So you just gotta bite your lip, give it hell, jump on. It's like Rambo, John Malton. He says, "You see the comet, just get on and get off."
Yeah, you got a strong trend in your market, so you're riding it, right?
Yeah. And it's like sometimes you want everyone, I guess, like on like a high level look kind of view. Everyone's like licking their chops, waiting for the quote unquote Fed pivot, but these interest rates, they just keep pushing higher. Markets, keep selling off, and then what do? You just join them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, so what's it like being a bond trader in the past year or two? I know you've been doing this for some time now. And first of all, how long have you been doing this, trading bonds?
Well, trading bonds, I've been doing it for a while, but like seriously, only really gave it the same level of kind of attention that I do ES. Started like March.
Because you used to be you're a major ES player as well, right?
Yeah, ES was my bread and butter. Then
Yeah.
I don't know, sometime March 2021, I was like, well, I'll just start focusing on the bonds. I put the ladders up, and then did what I did with ES, which was just basically sat there and just stared at the ladders for day in, day out. And it was kind of prescient because obviously everyone knows in November 2021, and then J-Powell opened up his mouth and just got on everyone's bad list. He's getting a lump of coal from every single trader around the world this year for Christmas. So it's only been 1.5 years. So I tell this to people all the time. I'm like, you'd be surprised at where you end up if you just
almost like
work it and just.
It's almost like even though you're an ES trader, you went to a market that was like the path of least resistance, which is what futures allows you to do, and it's what I mean, or betting, or trading on futures allows you to do, because you can go to any of these places that are hot. You know what I mean? And rather than wallowing in something in your own product that's choppy or whatever, you can expand your horizons like that. And
I did that. I did that. That's a good point, Jimmy. I did that last year too with the big commodities run. I was, and I'm a tourist like anyone else, like with all these markets. So I was trading a lot of copper like overnight in the Chinese session, because same thing, you just come in and then they would just rip copper like 2, 3, 4, 5%. And it's like, you get in there and you get, I'm just trading around 1 lots in copper. And then, next thing I'm trading 2. And then, you make a couple ticks here and there. And then, it just kind of sets you up it doesn't set you up, so to speak, but it just kind of makes it a little bit easier the next day to trade. Like,
and another thing that you said is that you stare at the ladders and you start to pick up the rhythm. You know, but you gotta put the time in and stare at the ladders, and you pick it up.
And even if you're not like if you're not even a you know, like a pure depth of market guy or person, sorry. I have one of my screens. It's, you know, I have like a 4-panel trading view. It's just got, you know, like the 10-year ES. It's got like copper, oil, and you watch these like intermarket relationships for.
That's all the event contracts. You're perfect for this.
Yeah,
dude.
I like these the look of these event contracts because I'll let you guys go, but I was saying like you know, because we're traders, we like to be busy, you know. So it's like some days, you know, you're trading like quote unquote path, but then you drop the plan. And you're like, all right, I'm gonna hit this level and go that level, and then you get a little bit cute. Then you're in like you're in like a third of what you allotted for the day risk, and then you realize if you just were small enough, your trade would have gone level to level.
Yep, totally.
So I want to talk about a couple things here. One is, and we know that Canny's the equity guy in the room. We got 3 futures guys. As an equity trader, Canny, how much do you look at interest rates this year, bond market? How much is it impacting anything you're doing?
Not a lot. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it on a tertiary basis here and there. I just kind of see what the trend is. You know, I look at it on daily charts, and that's about it, just to kind of get a handle on what the trend is right now. I mean, the trend in some of the segments from a yield standpoint, because I got a chart with the yield instead of prices. I mean, it looks like a growth stock. So it just, for me, it's just, okay, we're clearly in a yield uptrend, bond downtrend, price downtrend. It's clear, it's firm. That's going to weigh, especially on the NASDAQ, especially on growth-oriented stocks. So you just have that in the back of your head as you're looking at all the other stuff. But it's not like something that I'm on top of every single day.
Yeah.
I don't look at the futures. I look at ES and NASDAQ futures intimately, but I don't look at bond futures much at all.
Jimmy, I know that you look at it more closely than I do. I mean, this year, for me, one of the main things that I'm doing every single day is one of the first thing I do is look to see, you know, where I look at the 2-year. So I think it's just so important. You know, I look at the yield curve a little bit to see what it's showing us, because I think it's a great lead on the day. Is there anything that maybe you saw today, or maybe macro, you talk about it as well with Jimmy, in the sense of what you saw that maybe happened in the bond market today that maybe triggered why we rallied?
The coolest thing about like the markets right now there are drivers that, you know, and like the easiest markets to trade are the ones where you have like an ancillary driver, like that's like you're trading off it. You know what I mean? You're reacting tick for tick, you know? So like right now it's like kind of going back and forth between bonds and FX, you know? FX is really driving a lot of this stuff, because the FX market's kind of like your barometer of whether or not shit is going to break, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you like, you know, now you have to look at like stuff like what is the most like twisted or squeezed FX market in the most pain, and like the British pound or sterling just like backed off because their government backed off a little bit. But like today I was watching, the yen, US dollar yen. That one seems to still be in that like scary area, you know? So as the dollar backed off from a lot of like the euro and stuff like that, and the sterling, which allowed us to rally today, we still have issues. So like every day when you want to look at stuff, when you have to follow, you know, like you said, the 2-year, 10-year, whatever, you know, short, you know, the yield curve in the United States. But these FX moves are tantamount to the way this shit is moving right now. Like they're controlling everything because everyone is afraid that either something's going to break, or it's either something's going to break or soft landing. And it seems like foreign exchange pairs are going to be the ones that determine this. So
dollar impact, right?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
I'll tell you as well. This year has been the first time in a long time I've had so many things up on my screen. To Jimmy's point, past 2 years, all I looked at was ESNQ, because that was where like the easy money was. It's just, you come in and there's just the bid, and people just rip the, they just rip buys all day long. And now this year I've got like one screen right now. I've got four curves, like like rate curves. Then I have like short-term interest rate curves. Then I have a screen for all the FX stuff. So it's like there's a lot happening, but it's to Jimmy's point, like the US dollar ripping is, it's just going to crush the global economy. From a top level view, obviously that's like whether or not you focus on that for, trading your product, but it's definitely something worth keeping in the back of your mind, because you see these moves happen and you're like, wait, where the hell did that come from? There's no news. And then you look over at the pound and it's just sold off in 100 basis points.
Right.
But it makes the market at this juncture insane. To me, it makes it insanely news driven. And so, which makes it tough for the global environment for stocks. But like the guys that are benefiting right now are the ones that just wait for the news to come out, whatever it is, because we're trending. I mean, right now we're trending, let's be honest, we're trending either up or down strong one day to the next based on whatever the current news is. Which is
and they just
not a typical environment for a healthy bull market at all. So knowing that, you just wait and see what the news is that day, and you align if you're doing a lot of short-term trading. I don't do a ton of short-term trading, but it's perfect for these contracts. These event contracts really come in, and you can play this game and understand how the market works without leverage. Like I'm playing the 3700s today simply because the AD line is strong and we keep butting up against it, and it's either going to break through, and percentages, in my opinion, favor that actually happening, or it's not. But you can buy these things. What's the price of them right now?
So I'll go 3700s. We'll check them out.
So you could take a 4.25. So you could take a 4-to-1, 5-to-1 trade on a 50-50 situation. That's that's awesome. And if you only want to bet $10 because you're just learning how to play, that's all you got to do. And this thing allows you to do that. I love this. I love this for when I'm teaching new people. I love this for myself because it just allows me. I don't trade much at the end of the day. Most of my stuff's early in the day. And so it allows me to stay engaged and keep track of what's going on in the market. And I tend to play these last 30, 45-minute moves all the time. I keep buying the 3,700 yeses right now. And right now I'm not making any money, but it won't take more than a little bit of a surge to get through 3,700. And all those things that I'm buying at $4, and $5 are going to pay. So
one thing I want to say is that, we started off talking about the complex market that we are all used to as trading as traders, right? And there's a lot of days right now. I go back to that Fed day. Like that Fed day was tough. I lost money on that day. I made money on these contracts because once I kind of knew I was wrong, it was an easy way to go in. And I think that, we talk about this a lot here. There's that complex strategy. And then when we go in and we're trading, the minis, or we're trading the bonds and we're doing that. But when you have these type of trend days like this, where we all been there, and everybody that's a veteran trader or even a new trader out there knows the time where you look at the market and go, this thing could just keep going up all day or down all day. And you don't have a real strategy built around that. That's a lot of times how I use this, because like today, I'm going to show what I chose with Anne-Marie Van, who really laid something out that I didn't do in the past with these. And it was a new way to do it. But I think this allows you to participate in the market in a way you can express your opinion, right, on what you think could happen. And it's just define risk. I mean, that's one of the things I like about them. I want to quickly go to Anne-Marie's tweet because I thought it was really cool. And I want to see kind of what you think about this, Jimmy, because this falls into more your world, right? And we'll even see what Macro thinks, right? So she put tonight's strangle for event contracts from Place Your Trades. No for 35.75 and yes for 36.50. So when the futures spike high, close the yes side. When the futures fall, close the no. Volatility is your friend. So I'll show you what I did, and I'll show you my position actually on here. So I immediately went because, you know, I know Anne-Marie's good, and I bought 10 of the 36.50 yeses. So like right now, it's obviously it's $20 because everything only pays out $20, but I bought them at 6.75. So it's saying the price is 19 because that's just a bid. And if you want to buy the yes, it's 20. So you can't make no money on it, right? And then I went and I have $6.75 times 10 invested. And then Anne-Marie said, go to the 35.75. I bought 10 at 6.50, right? And now that's worth a quarter. So her idea was, and Jimmy, I think this is an options thing. I think this is a great also way for people to learn options. What do they call that? She said strangle or straddle? When you
can straddle them, you can do kind
of a it's like in these things, it's kind of like a strangle. You know what I mean? What she's doing is kind of like a strangle, but because of the way they're set up, it's kind of a strangle spread because it like strangles like kind of have infinite risk, but this doesn't have infinite risk. This is a strangle with defined risk.
Got it.
Which is actually very cool. It's a, you know.
Yeah, because if one works and one doesn't, I'm only in for what is it? Exactly.
Right.
I'm in for $13.
And it's going to pay 20.
And one of them pays 20, so I make $7 because I lost on this one, I made on that one. And I was going to tweet her, I wish I would have bought 1,000 of them. You know what I mean? But I think as you see things like
but
this,
Anne-Marie is absolutely right, and she speaks to the way the different ways we can play this game strategically. It's not always just pick a strike and say yes or no. You know what I mean? Her trade was fantastic. Exactly. You can people call it collaring off or straddle or strangling off, where you play like bigger ranges. And where I just think it's going to go outside this range. I think it's going to be volatile today, or I think it's going to trade inside this range, or I think we're just going to chop today. You know what I mean? One or the other. But these are things that you can trade with these event contracts by trading just a couple layers of them, a couple strikes on top of each other like that.
And as you're playing with it, it's amazing. It takes 10 minutes, 5 minutes maybe to set up the account. You click, put your email in, whatever. You can fund this thing with like $100, $200, and
you can play everything we're talking about with literally like 10 or $5 for the next month to get to learn. You know what I mean? This is super cheap. You don't have to be that big.
So let's hear what. I'm with you, Jimmy. I just want to hear macro. This is totally new to you. You know nothing about it. You're a sophisticated bond trader. What is your initial thoughts on this?
I like these. It's like I was saying before, we, as traders, we get like a little cute with how we're trading and quote unquote trading path. And I think these are great because I'm sure a lot of us, when we're trading, we have our plan. Here's our level. We're going to go from here to here. And then, intraday, we're whether you made a couple bad trades in a row and then you start to get on tilt, or, something happens and you don't really properly execute what you said you set out to do. So I think this is a great way to have that trade on in a simple way. That's like, all right, I think it's going to go 3650 to 3700, let's say. So you just put it on and then at least you have it on. Versus like how many people here, what is this? It's like a intraday bull flag, right? I'm sure people trading micros or even the minis, you're gonna get chopped to death right here.
You're getting chewed up.
Bad.
It's like 5 points. One lot mini, that's $250. You do that 4 times, you're out. You're done for the day.
And you brought up a good point where you're like, hey, at the beginning of the day, you have an opinion and like, all right, and a lot of times you fuck it up with execution. At the very least, like at the beginning of the day, sometimes I look at these event contracts and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna I'm just going to place a little bit of a bet here, just like on my opinion, on my big opinion, and we'll see how the pieces fall. And a lot of the times I'll find myself, like having difficulty executing in this environment because it's so volatile, but my overall thought process will be correct,
Yeah.
and that bet will come home. And you know what I mean? So it's
another way I'd use these too. Oh, sorry, Jimmy, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's a great point you make there, dude.
Another way I would use these too, well, I will use these. If it's like, what I like to do is I look at where ES is coming in on the day, like from the Globex Open, and if it's, let's just say it's coming in plus 0.5% or minus 0.5%, and I take a view that we're going to range expand today, I'll just measure out, okay, where is like 1% from here either side, 2% either side, let's just say, and then you just you buy those strikes.
Yeah. And you can also you can do percentages. You can also do like standard deviations, and also you can, like, when you meet those standard deviations, you can go the opposite way. And a lot of times that's your 50-50 proposition where you're getting 10 or 12 bucks for taking the opposite side of it. But the market's expended its energy and it's at its standard deviation, and it's probably going to stall here, and here's your strike, and you know what I mean? That's the other way to play it. It's not always yes. A lot of times it's no. That's how you make money.
Right. And
so you can apply sophistication to this. Like, it's not a sophisticated product, but that doesn't mean you can't apply advanced thought process to it.
And I used the term last week, it's a great gateway drug. You guys are talking sophisticated stuff, and I'm talking about like I teach a lot of people swing and position trading where there's really nothing to do right now because the market's so bad. And this is a phenomenal product to use without much risk taken on to start getting a better understanding of the inner workings of the more shorter term nature of the indexes, and how it backs and fills and trades level to level and all of that. Because once you understand that stuff, it helps your stock trading tremendously.
Yeah.
Oh, hell
it really does. And so,
hell yeah.
All the people that I'm teaching could use this without much risk to kind of start having, for lack of a better term, something to do that keeps them active in the markets in a really low risk way that will make them smarter when the market does turn. So
two quick things. Yeah, thanks, Canny. I agree with you totally on that. Two quick things. One is these are based on the settlement price, not the last tick. So some people have asked me that question. I've seen that question come around. We're like, let's just say the last tick at 3:59 and 59 seconds is 88.25. It based off the settlement. So watch that. And all no's, all ties, let's just say it closed exactly at 3,700. That's actually a no because it didn't close above 3,700. So no is 3,700 or less. If that ever happens, that would be pretty interesting. And also people are saying, well, how do I get the app? I see some of the comments. Download the event contract app for free. This is the app. You can go there. You're going to get the data. You can see exactly what you're doing. The link is in the chat. Click the link, go in there, put your email in, you get the app, and that's how you can go and get it and follow along. Like we're saying, it's super simple. Right. So as we go away for today, let's talk about a couple of things.
My 3,700
what macros, what macro T. So buddy, let's talk about, we know we're seeing how the way the day is closing. Let's just give everybody, as they watch this right now and maybe later, some insight to maybe things to look at tomorrow. I know we can't project where they're going to open, but maybe we'll start with you, Macro. You are the guest, and thank you so much for joining us today. What is something tomorrow morning? Give us an idea of what we look at, and we talked about bonds today. What you maybe look in the bond market to maybe give you a lead or something you can see that maybe would help somebody make a decision for a yes or no in the S&P tomorrow. What should we be watching?
Well, for starters, we got some data in the morning, industrial production and housing market. I really lean on the calendar now, just to Canny's point. There's a lot of news at the moment, but Sorry, I'm a little unprepared for this.
It's all right.
I don't even have the daily.
We're unprepared every single day.
Wait, this
brother.
is not financial advice,
Right.
dude.
You can say whatever you want.
I agree with you though. Like it's so
news
macro right now, and it's so news driven. Like it's hard to extrapolate like throughout the week when like this reminds me of the 90s when like every number is like an important number. You know what I mean? Like, and all these numbers when you look at them, like tomorrow we have like industrial production and you know, like that used to be like whatever, dude. Like, you know what I mean? You wouldn't even come to work on those numbers. And now they're like, now it's like that's real. That's serious. Like this, every single freaking data point right now is huge. So there, you know, you have to come to work every
whether or not it's a pivot or not. Is this going to get the Fed to pivot or isn't it? And so a lot of times that's what every piece of news coming along, the market is evaluating in terms of that. Like in a healthy bull market, nobody cares about any of this stuff.
Right.
Nobody cares. You know,
we're pushing, you know, like extreme kind of scary absolute levels. In interest rates and in FX, like someone just roofed all in there at the close. So yeah, I mean, it's really hard to say because, you know, we have Asia to contend with. We have European, the European Open and then the London Open. Like, so you never really know. Like this entire year, I really don't make a game plan because it's you draw something up on the board and then you wake up and you're like, what are these crazy Europeans just do?
It's a 100-point move in the S&P. One thing I look at every day that I think is really simple, and this goes to our big brother PAX, right? What PAX opening range, if we open up, like I look at the Globex low yesterday too, we opened up and rallied in equities. And I just really go to a really super short-term moving average, like a 5-day. And I'll say, okay, if opening range is the low or the high, if it just happens to be the low or the high, and we get above one of those moving averages, because there's so much volatility, I look for the cheaper ones in that direction. So if the opening range high and we're breaking down, I buy some no's. And then I actually like to wait till middle of the day to the end of the day to see where we are near them. And then I'll either add to something, like I'll buy something like maybe out of the money a little bit that's $5 to $8. And I wake up and then it's or in the middle of the day, it gets to 15. I might buy more there because, you know, now my average price is pretty good, or I can offset with some no's and lock something in. So I look at the real simple side of opening range and short-term moving average. And if it starts to run in that direction, like going back to what you said earlier, Canny, it's like one day is like what we used to trend for a month. So you're getting these levels. And Jimmy, you talked about this last week. They're hitting these strikes that are way out there.
It's amazing when, like, can you imagine, like today I was like, well, you know, that strike's only, you know, 20 handles away. You know, we could hit that in like 30, you know, we could hit that within the hour. But like, you know, historically thinking about that to myself, like 20 handles, it was like, fuck you, I'll sell like every option you want outside that, you know what I mean? But right now I wouldn't sell a thing, you know what I mean? I'm afraid to do anything like because everything is within reach right now, you know?
I mean, I remember when ES was trading 10-point ranges.
Yeah.
You know, so now to see, and that's another good thing too. Like as far as having patience intraday, like, you know, you're seeing these things like an ES whip around 100, like 30. Well, what are we at? We're at 3,700, so 37 points. It's that's 1% intraday. Not even intraday. It's a 5-minute swing. So it's a good market to test your patience, and if you are patient, the setup will show itself.
In this market, like this is what they meant by how you have to be patient, because like you're going to get stopped out if you're not patient in this. You know what I mean? You need to almost place your orders where you see the other chumps going to place their stops, and then you have to be patient from there. You know what I mean? This is the, you know, that type of money.
All right, boys. Well, Macro, you're the man. Thanks for signing up last week. We're gonna do this again.
Yeah.
Maybe in a month or so. We'll do a sign up.
Sure.
Remember, everybody,
Macro,
and
thank you,
subscribe.
brother. I love you, man.
No,
Yeah,
love
follow
you, boys.
Macro on Twitter.
Follow him.
He's underfollowed. You can go to my tweet and see who he is and follow him. He's a great guy.
Solid dude.
Everybody, like, subscribe,
approach.
share the show if you enjoyed it. Go and download the Trade of 8 app today. That helps us tremendously. It's free. Go there. Check out these event contracts. I want to hear from you. Let me know what you guys think about them. And I'm just thinking about Jimmy. Are you drinking a Mai Tai? Like, are you going to a Mai Tai after this? Or like, what are you doing? I mean, you got a pig roast in the back? He's
It's a Mai
roasting.
Tai.
Oh yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Well, you made me start drinking at 2 today. So
We might have to move this to a morning show. Love you guys. Peace. See you next week.
all right, peace.
See you, boys.